morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of voice of radio. So today we need to take a look at a couple of cool things that have come around in the Pokemon TCG, one of which is awesome but doesn't make sense, and one of which is just awesome. So let's start off with the one which is just awesome. There is a stamp event which is being held in Japan. It has just started, and it is being held at Pokemon card gyms until Monday the 8th of April. And basically, what happens is that you pop along and you get some stamps, and the second stamp you get gets you a Buddy Poffin, and the third stamp you get gets you a Koraidon or a Miraidon. And these are cards we've seen before. These are not new cards, but they are very, and I mean very good cards. And they've got the Pokemon Gym stamp on, which, look, I've told you many times before at this stage, I am a sucker for a good stamp. But these are also like really ridiculously good cards you need to pay attention to. Now, Buddy Poffins is the one that is going to excite almost everybody here, because what you do is you grab up to 2 basic 70 HP or less Pokemon from your deck, pop them on your bench, and shuffle your deck. And it's not Battle VIP Pass. And I'm not pretending it's Battle VIP Pass. This is not as good as Battle VIP Pass. I'm also not pretending that Battle VIP Pass isn't rotating out. We are losing Battle VIP Pass. Japan already has. In Japan, it has rotated. For us, it's rotating on the 5th of April, which is the first day of EUIC, which is also the day Temporal Forces becomes legal for the first time. And basically, it's going to be huge. And we're going to need some kind of a replacement. And the best replacement for some decks is going to be Buddy Poffins. I am not going to try and pretend to you that this is some kind of magic perfect fix that fixes everything, because it's not a magic fix that fixes everything. What I am, however, going to try and pretend is that this is a very cool card, which is going to see a bunch of play. For decks that are playing a bunch of Pokemon with 70 HP or less, this is going to actually be a big deal. And therefore, having a gym promo version of it is kind of amazing. It is a really good promo to be getting as a gym promo. Now, they're doing that thing again where they are bringing promos of Koraidon and Miraidon. And they did this before, but when they did it before, it led to super expensive cards and a bunch of people getting upset. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see a repeat of that here. What I'm referring to essentially is that when Scarlet and Violet came around, there was an event over in Japan, and if you won one of these events, and they weren't huge, they were, like 16 people, something like that, but if you won one of these, you got a pack, and this pack had either the alternate art Koraidon or Miraidon at random, and there weren't enough of these events for everybody to do like 1 million of them, obviously. And you had to win to get one of these packs. And even then, you only had a 50-50 chance. We got these cards in our Elite Trainer boxes. They were really easy to get hold of. In Japan, they weren't. And yeah, these cards have become like redonkulously expensive, even though they were never playable. Well, the good news is these cards are playable, and they're going to be a lot less expensive, because there should be many more of them given out. But they are also just stamped regular versions rather than lovely alternate art. I'm going to let you guys figure out which one you prefer doing here. Whether you'd rather have them really rare but fancy alternate art, or much easier to get hold of, but they're just the regular with a stamp. There's pros and cons to both. But the Koraidon and Miraidon here are both like super duper playable. The Miraidon for 2 energy does 30 damage for each of your ancient Pokemon in play. And because we've got Professor Sada's Vitality, you can go second and then on turn 1 just accelerate an energy with that, and then all of a sudden be hitting up to 180. Now realistically, it's not actually going to be 180, because you're going to have some support Pokemon down. You're not going to have a full bench of all ancient Pokemon. So more realistically, it's going to be more like 120 most of the time. But that's still potentially turn 1, 120 and you just have to accelerate one energy, which is not that hard in ancient decks. Yeah, I legitimately love this Koraidon. I think this Koraidon is brilliant. And I've made no secret of the fact I'm going to be building a bunch of ancient decks moving forward, and this is going to be played in all of them. But there is an argument that for future decks, Miraidon might be even better. It's not a free energy 160, nobody cares. Single energy, 40 damage, and you get to search your deck for 2 basic energy and attach them to your future Pokemon in any way that you like. But the key here is that it's searching your deck, so it's really easy to find. But we've got Future Boost Energy Capsule, which lets you do an extra 20 damage. And we got Iron Crown EX, which lets your future Pokemon do an extra 20 damage. That does stack, but you're not going to want too many of them out at the same time, because bench space and all that. But if you've got 1 Iron Crown and Future Boost Energy Capsule, or 2 Iron Crown, that means that you're doing 80 damage. And 80 damage is enough to KO evolving basic support Pokemon, etc. Basically anything you could have searched out with Buddy Poffins. And then all of a sudden, you're getting a KO while accelerating energy? Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, honestly. And as a fun little side note, remember I showed you the Hong Kong Taiwan New Year promos the other day, and there are actually New Year stamp versions of the Koraidon and Miraidon. Not Buddy Poffins, unfortunately, but still, and actually Iron Crowns that I just mentioned a minute ago, and Raging Bolt while we're here just calling out the EXs. So yeah, that's still one of the coolest promotions around. I adore that promotion. The booster pack's amazing. But this Koraidon and Miraidon are getting love, and they're great cards, and frankly, maybe they should be getting love. But if we flick from these and have a little bit more of a look at some Paradox Pokemon, something else has been announced in the past few days, and that is the Ultra Pro Scarlet and Violet Temporal Forces binders. Now, there's 2 of these, like we generally would expect. There is a 4-pocket binder, which features Raging Bolt on the front, Iron Crown on the back. And then we got the 9-pocket binder, which has Walking Wake on the front and Iron Leaves on the back. And you will notice that once again, the Ultra Pro are doing what they do. They are using the booster pack artwork. These are my favourite products that Ultra Pro make. Because generally speaking, they only use the stock artwork of Pokemon, and they make products which are disappointing. But here we got the official artwork from the booster packs, and we know that Ultra Pro tend to do this, and they use that artwork to go and make these binders, and these binders look cool, and I'm kind of a fan. I like the way they look. I've bought loads of these in the past, which will go back many years, back to like Gen 4 days here, and I've never loved how cards fit in them, so I don't tend to buy them anymore. But I know I have a lot of people, a lot of friends out there, a lot of viewers who do like these, who do buy these. They look amazing. There are people out there that literally just collect the binders because, I mean, look, I'm a big Raging Bolt fan, right? So look at Raging Bolt here on the booster pack next to the portfolio. Clearly the best way to appreciate this artwork is on the portfolio. So this is awesome and makes perfect sense. But I do have one genuine complaint about this, and it is this. Why do we not have an Ancient and a Future? Why do we not have Iron Leaves and Iron Crown on one and Raging Bolt and Walking Wake on the other? Like, it's right there for the taking. It would be so perfect. Like, we're theming left, right, and centre with Paradox Pokemon at the moment. We've got the whole Ancient and Future thing going on. In what world do we have Ancient and Future? We got 2 of each. We got 2 binders. And we're not flicking them round. Come on. This is like legitimately the only part of this that annoys me. But it does actually genuinely legitimately annoy me. And that is how. How do we not have one with the 2 Ancient Pokemon and one with the 2 Future Pokemon and just go from there? It is genuinely, legitimately baffling to me that they would put 1 Ancient and 1 Future on each. Like, both have an Ancient on the front and a Future on the back. And I like that means you have to go back to get to the future. Back to the future. But still, no, come on. This is the only thing about this which is annoying to me. They are due for release on the 22nd of March, of course, which is the release date of the set. And then we knew these were coming. These are the kind of things that we always get, right? These are the things that come around every time, every set we expect these. So nobody's surprised that these are here. And we kind of knew exactly what they were going to look like because this is what they always look like. They take the booster pack images and then they whack one on the front and one on the back and they're good. Unless sometimes there's 5 booster pack images and then they have to get a little bit creative. And I like them because the booster pack artwork is awesome and this shows off the booster pack artwork beautifully. I just don't understand why we cannot have an ancient and a future. That would make me happy. Never mind, I've told you what you need to know now, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these, tell me what you think about the Japanese promos, tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shoutouts to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.